Hi, my name is Mr. Garcia. I am the AP U.S. History teacher on campus, and I've been asked by Wolfpack TV to talk about COVID-19 and any comparisons or differences to one of the world's worst pandemics in history, which would be the Spanish flu. I'm not at all going to pretend to be an expert on COVID-19 or flus or viruses, anything like that. I'm just going to speak about the Spanish flu historically, and then connect that to COVID-19 when I can. Spanish flu occurred in 1918. As far as United States of America, Spanish flu broke out in the spring of 1918, and it carried all the way through until the summer of 1919. The first year, 1918, the United States was fighting World War I, and so that posed a lot of issues for the United States because we had a lot of men going over to Europe helping to spread that disease. We had a lot of people coming back and forth, taking the disease over there and bringing it back to the United States itself. In that year, 1919, when it first broke out, it was mild. When people contracted Spanish flu, they got the flu, as people tend to do. They became sick, but not many people died. The Spanish flu came back in waves, and in that winter of 1918 and 1919, it really hit the United States pretty badly. So worldwide, anywhere from 30 to 50 million people who died as a result of the Spanish flu. In the United States of America, over 670,000 people died because of the Spanish flu. So obviously, there's no way I can compare that to COVID-19 right now because we're in the midst of COVID-19. I'm not at all suggesting that COVID-19 is going to be as bad as the Spanish flu. I'm just giving you the numbers from the Spanish flu and how bad that one was. The United States was in the midst of a war, and so a great number of our doctors were overseas. There was a shortage of doctors and medical personnel in the United States. We had no ventilators, we had no medicines, there was no nationwide stay-at-home order, there was no shutting down of everything, partly because we're in the midst of a war, and also partly because the means of communication were not what we have today. One could argue that would help lead to a larger number of fatalities. Again, difficult to prove because it's a different strain of a virus. Back then, cities reacted, not the United States government. And so some cities across the United States would close in order people to stay at home, close schools, close churches. Some cities, they didn't pass any ordinances. They didn't really react very quickly. Those big cities, they suffered large fatalities. During World War I, Spain did not fight. They were a neutral country. As a result of that, they came out publicly and began advertising and telling other countries that they're experiencing a horrible disease. No other major country, especially any country involved in World War I, none of them came out and said that they were suffering from a disease as well, but they all were. In the United States of America, the government controlled what the media, basically newspapers, what they could print, and they told them don't really talk about the disease as often. And so Spain did come out publicly and admitted we have a problem, we have a horrible disease, and nobody else did. So people began to point the finger at Spain and blame them. And so we typically refer to it as the Spanish flu, despite the fact it probably did not originate in Spain. Spanish flu, deadly pandemic. The United States of America, over 600,000 people died. I am not saying that that's going to be the same during COVID-19, not at all. I'm just giving that historical perspective. And on that note, Wolfpack Nation, obviously, please practice social distancing. Please be safe. And let's all look forward to when we can all come back to school and learn in a traditional manner. Thank you.